All right. So again, I'm Mr. Sam. I'm a teacher over at 1.6, and we're going to be playing our super special game. Can you shut the sound off of that? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and switch our screen view. I'm going to give a full-on screen of our activity is for today. So I do apologize. My computer is really slow right now. There we go. Okay. So you're just adding that to our normal one. Okay, is everyone able to see what I'm seeing? I'm going to go ahead and switch to our presentation view. Okay, and of course, I've got Mr. Miles that will be keeping track of score, and of course, being able to see everyone a little bit better because I'm stuck just on my presentation view. Okay, so feel free to speak up and tell me when I'm not doing when I'm, if you can't hear anything or anything like that, because I can currently not see anybody. All right, sound good?
Great, sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start off with our super awesome game today, which is called Guess Who? Okay, and I put exclamation points and question marks because I want to say it with feeling, but it's also technically a question. Okay, and the game is going to be simple. Everyone will be able to answer for each slide. Okay, and you'll be exposed to one picture, which will be in the center, will be in a yellow or a red box. And that'll be an older picture of a certain staff member, okay? It's either gonna be a baby picture, just a young adult picture, teenage picture, and then you'll have to choose between two staff members' pictures of who do you believe it would be, okay? And then Mr. Miles will go ahead and collect everyone's answers, and then we'll review what the correct response is after each slide. And it's gonna be real simple. You either pick the number one picture, so you just show the number one, you can write it down, you can show me with your fingers, okay, because Mr. Miles will be able to see that, or you can show a number two if you believe that the second picture is that, okay, and if you're not quite sure how everything's going to go, well, we'll just slide into our first slide and see what happens with that. Then we'll go ahead and collect score. And of course, there are going to be some more difficult ones, but then there's also going to be some pretty funny ones as well, okay, so hopefully we can have a lot of fun and get to know all of our transition staff a little bit better, okay? Is that everyone all set? Good? Good? All right, we'll go ahead and go to our first slide. I'm gonna try to just click one at a time. All right, so as we're looking in our yellow box, we've got this gentleman right here. Ooh, nice beard. Yep. Now, when he grew up, did he become Mr. Dave, who is our number one, or, oh, I gotta let somebody in, or Mr. Sam, which is number two. So who is this person right here that I've got my cursor on? Is it number one, Mr. Dave? Or is it number two, Mr. Sam? Okay, so go ahead and just show either a one or a two for us. And then, yep, and then might just take a little moment. And
Mr. Sam, are we playing by classroom where we're battling classroom, or
it'll be by classroom? It'll be by classroom, but also I know we have Omir on. AJ just hopped on, Destiny. So AJ, Destiny, Omir, and
Julia, Kaylee.
Julia, they will all be on their own teams as well. Okay.
AJ said in the chat box 1.
All right. Excellent.
I got him.
AJ's outside, you guys. I can't get him to come in.
All right. So we have everyone who's answered?
I have all the answers now.
Excellent. So our answer for our first slide is if you selected number one, Mr. Dave, you are absolutely correct.
Oh, all right, Mr. Dave.
I know it's a tricky one. All right, now for our next one. Ooh, we have this nice little young lady right here. I like the pose. But who did this young little baby grow up to be? Is this Ms. Rogers, Principal Rogers, number 1? Or is this Ms. Connie Tisch? So who did this baby grow up to be? Number 1, Principal Rogers, or number 2, Ms. Connie?
Everybody says 2.
All answers in.
All answers in.
And the answer for this is number 2. This is Ms. Connie when she was just a little baby. So if you answered number 2, woo, you got it right. And of course, feel free if you want to say things during this, you can take the unmute button off, whatever you want. Because like I said, I can't see you right now as I'm presenting this. So Mr. Miles is able to see all that. Okay? All right, moving on to our next one. Ooh, we've got this young gentleman in a rocking chair. Who did this young gentleman grow up to be? Did he grow up to be number 1, Mr. Eric, or number 2, Mr. Charles? So again, who did this young man grow up to be? Mr. Eric, number 1, or Mr. Charles, number 2? All right, got it, man. All right, we're picking up speed now. Okay, so if you answered number 2 for this one, Mr. Charles, then you are correct. So give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a round of applause, whatever you do, if you got number 2, because you got your point.
Nice job.
Excellent. Do we have a tie between everyone?
Same lean, just different direction these days.
Just a little bit. I think I flipped that image maybe. All right, we'll keep on moving. Our
Those
next one.
pictures are only like 5 years apart. That's not really fair.
Ooh, here's our next one. We got this young man with a nice little jacket, a nice little fashion outfit here. Okay, now, who did this young man grow up to be? Is it number 1, Mr. Miles, or number 2, Mr. Terrence?
It's a tricky
1
one.
or 2, Des. 2? Hold up 2 fingers. 1, 2. 1,
That's the best thing I think I hear on that.
I'm going to go with Mr. Terrence. Yes.
2. Good job, Desi.
Maybe I should have put more options on here. Answers in? All right. If you guessed number 2, Mr. Terrence, you are absolutely correct.
Woo!
Maybe Mr. Sam, not to control your game, but maybe our 2 options shouldn't vote because we definitely cheated.
Well,
Tried holding out as long as I could. I didn't want to miss out on my answer, though.
honor system.
There's no honor when you're trying to beat Mr. Eric.
Oh, we still got more to come.
Wait. I haven't even been competing. I didn't guess on my own.
Hear all that, Desi.
All that, let's go ahead and move to our slide.
Destiny knows the rules. We talked about it at school. It's beat Mr. Eric.
All right, our next slide. We've got this young chap right here, smiling away. Now, who did this young man grow up to be? Did he grow up to be Mr. Sam, myself, or Mr. Christian? I know the smiles are very
Commissioner
strong.
Sam. Sure. So then number 1.
So is it number 1 or number 2?
Okay. Good job, Desi. Good job, Sisser.
All right, if you answered
Oh my God, you're not fair.
number 1 on this, you were absolutely correct. That was me in my youthful days, only just a couple years ago or so. All right, on with our next one. Ooh, we have this fuzzy little princess when she was younger.
Correct.
I'm thinking either way, if you choose one or two, I know they at least shave often. So your selection here is either number one, Ms.
Guessing.
Hatch or Miss Ashley,
Are you gonna go with Miss
or number two,
Ashley or Miss Denise? Denise? What about Miss Ashley?
one or two.
You really think it's Denise?
You want to pay attention to eyes on this one.
Go with one, Miss Ashley.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll have a couple difficult ones on here. You're doing a great job, Miles.
Say one.
Yeah, we're just tallying up those final scores. The harder ones take a little bit longer.
What are you saying, Mark?
Destiny, what was your answer? Destiny?
One.
Destiny said one.
Hey, Miss Ashley. Ashley? Mm-hmm. You did pick Denise, though. Mm-hmm. That's it. You could be right, and then I feel horrible.
Omir, Kaylee, and Julia. What were your numbers again?
You guys can help them hold fingers up or type in the chat if you want to help too.
Julia's putting up the number one,
How would everybody do it?
I think, right? One, Julia? One.
Omir, did you have one or two? Bud? Show me one or two. Okay, Amir's got two. Thank you. I just found out I can pull their screen up a little bit. So that's nice. So we all locked in?
No, I mean, I still need, I can't see all of them. I need Kaylee, Julia.
Kaylee, I think
AJ,
Kaylee was one. I think it's one.
Connie.
And Connie's got one holding up.
Okay.
All right. So the answer for this one is, I got to go back one slide. Sorry. We'll get to that next one. But our reveal on this one, if you selected one, Ms. Ash, you would be correct.
Oh, how cute.
Yes. And she informed me that she was dressed up as a skunk.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely adorable. Okay, now I know everyone just got a sneak peek for next one, but we'll go ahead and slide into it. Now I like to have a little fun on these. Now we have this young karate kid down here in the middle. Now, who did this young karate kid grow up to be? Did he grow up to be number one, Mr. Eric, or number two, the legendary Chuck Norris? Now, just remember, these are all going to be people that you know and see at the Lyle Torrent or Kit Young Center, okay? So choose wisely on this one.
Jesse, Chuck Norris or Mr. Eric? Eric. Yeah. Let's do one. Hold your finger up. Make this down and hold up one. Keep this finger up. One.
All right, this one was a little bit quicker. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be a difficult one. But if you selected number one, Mr. Eric, you would be absolutely correct. So give yourself a round of applause, pat and back.
Chuck Norris has nothing on me.
Oh, yeah. All right, moving on to our next one. All right, for this, we have Shanna. Number two is Miss Shanna. I want to say Shana, but I'm glad it's Shanna, like banana. Shanna banana. And then our number one, that is it Miss Cassia? class, help me out with a name here, please. Kasha. I knew it was Miss Kasha number 1 or number 2, Miss Shanna.
1 or 2, Desi.
Just one of those difficult ones.
All right. Hold up 2 fingers. Okay, good job, sweetie. Good job. Good job. Bounce and bounce. Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. Mom. Hey, Mom. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
What was yours again, Destiny?
Did you say 1 or 2? It was 2.
2. Kaylee and Julia, can you show us your numbers one last time, please?
Okay, there's 2 for Julia.
Is AJ on right now?
I see AJ.
What
Hi,
was-
AJ.
What was your number, AJ? Two. Okay. All right. So the answer for this one is number 1.
Oh, buzzers.
I think we got some people on that one.
Yes, they did. That was tricky. That was very tricky.
All
That was
right.
a good one.
Okay. Slide to our next one. Here we go. We have this young gentleman right in the middle. Now, did this young gentleman grow up to be number 1, Mr. or number 2, Mr. Christian?
Are you, which one, 1 or 2? I knew you'd say Christian. Say Christian. Mr. Christian. Yes. I knew you'd go with that one, does he? To Mr. Christian.
We good?
You can
All right. Okay. The answer. Almost. Do we have a switch? All right. Okay. All right. So the answer for this one, that is Mr. Christian number 2.
High five, Desi. Woohoo, you got it right.
All right. Now on our next one. I forgot the order of these. Ooh, look at this young gentleman smiling away.
Oh my gosh.
Now, who did this young gentleman in the middle grow up to be? Is it number 1, our assistant principal, Mr. Clark, or number 2,
Mr. Clark has a very big smile, does he?
So was that Mr. Clark or Mr. Terrence when he was younger?
Do Mr. Terrence or Mr. Clark? Mr. Clark. Yeah, number 1, please.
I liked him better with the mullet.
Me too.
The mullet's great.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he doesn't know I took the picture off his Facebook.
I see he has got a very big smile.
Oh, I shouldn't
Yeah.
just text him this.
Yeah,
Good job,
free
Betsy.
screenshots, all that stuff.
But,
All right, so the answer for this slide is number 1, Mr. Clark.
oh my goodness.
Clark when he was younger. All right, on to our next one. Ooh, look at that picture. That's a great picture right here. Now, this young lady, who did she grow up to be? Did she grow up to be number 1, Ms. Shanna? I knew it. I was going to say it the right way. Miss Shanna, or number 2, Ms. Ashley.
Desi, you want to do 2 or 1?
So again, did this young lady grow up to be
Oh, what?
Miss Shanna or Ms.
Have a
Ashley?
look.
We got them all? All right. This young lady right down here grew up to be number 1, Miss Shanna. Woo. So if you guessed number 1, you were right. If you didn't guess number 1, you weren't right. All right. So we're all doing pretty good. Yeah, and you can lay that other paper right next to it. All right, cool, excellent.
Bounce, Desi, bounce.
All right, here's our next one.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Now, we are focusing on the little girl on the right, the blonde girl right here. Now, when this young lady grew up, did she grow up to be number 1, Miss Carla, or number 2, Mr. Charles? We're looking at the girl on the right. Did she grow up to be Miss Carla or Mr. Charles?
What do you think, Carla? Yes or no? Yeah, me too. Raise your finger. Because she's a girl, not a boy, Desi. Picture of a girl, right? Number 1. Good job. God, bounce. You can bounce. Bounce. You can bounce, baby. You're getting a little more. Okay, now
All
bounce.
right. If you answered number 1, Miss Carla, you are absolutely correct.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
Excellent. All right, it looks like we have about 8 more sides to go, so it's getting pretty tight. It's looking like, yeah, we may just have to tally up scores at the very end of this because I'm looking at a whole lot of paper that Mr. Miles is going through right now, but he's doing a great job. Yep. All right, moving on to our next one. Ooh, we have another young lady, little sweetheart. Okay, now when this young lady grew up, did she grow up to be Ms. Connie, number 1, or Ms. Denise, number 2? Who is this?
Miss Connie or Miss Denise?
Connie.
Connie? You think Connie? Connie or Miss Denise? You said Connie. Which one?
Connie.
You're all right. If that's what you're saying, we got to go with that answer, Def. Mama thinks Miss Denise. You think Miss Connie? All right. We'll see who's right. We'll see. You can bounce. It's okay. Miss Connie. Okay.
All right. The results are in. If you guessed number 2, Ms. Denise, you would be absolutely correct.
It was Miss Denise. How cute.
Absolutely adorable. All right, our next slide. Ooh, this one's a tricky one. This young man here with his shirt off and his hat on backwards. When he grew up, did he become Mr. Miles or Mark Wahlberg from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? So number 1, Mr. Miles, or number 2, Marky Mark. Now just remember,
Mr. Miles or Marky Mark?
these are people you know.
Marky Mark, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, but it's probably something or someone you may know. You want to go with Mark Wahlberg still? All right. Who it is. Can't deny it when you see a gorgeous guy, can we, Dezzers? Nope.
That was a good back in high school.
No.
All set. All right. This one, this young chap grew up to be our one and only Mr. Miles, number 1.
That's all
Not
right,
Marky
Desi.
Mark. I do see a resemblance of the shirt off and the hats. All right.
Yeah, we like our movies, don't we? It's all right, Desi.
Ooh, we have this
We
next
like
one.
our movies.
Ooh, I like the teenage years. Now, do try to focus on the individual, not just the car in this one. I know it's a nice one. Now, this young lady, when she grew up to be an adult, did she grow up to be number 1, Ms. Margaret, or number 2, Ms. Carla?
Are those bell bottoms?
I'm pretty sure.
One or two, Des?
Two.
I'm gonna do two.
Mm.
It's hard to say. All right, if you pick
Number
two,
one,
do
Miss
two.
Margaret, or number two, Miss Carla?
Do two. Look at right there. Put that over that. And two fingers. One, two, two.
Hmm.
Oh, Miss Ashley's saying number one. She's old number one. That's all right.
All the results are
No
in.
one. That's right.
This young lady right here grew up to be number one, Ms. Margaret. And I think this picture was only taken, I think, a couple years ago, right, Ms. Margaret? Years ago.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Good girl.
Okay.
Oh, sure they were. I'm just joking. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next slide. I'm looking down to slide count. We've got about, it looks about 4 or 5 more to go. All right, our next one. We are focusing on the young lady in the purple dress.
Oh my goodness.
Not the gentleman in the white tux. Now, who did this young lady grow up to be? Did they grow up to be number one, Ms. Amy Rogers or Principal Rogers, or number two, Cher? I know the hair may seem similar, but just remember, kiddos, this is someone you see almost every day when you come to school.
Do you want to go with Cher?
See in person.
Or Principal Amy.
Okay.
Amy in her prom dress. How cute.
Two.
It is very cute. One. Finger up to say one. One.
And just so everyone knows, everyone voluntarily donated these pictures, except for Clark. Except for Clark. we all set?
I think.
We're good? All answers in? All right. So for this, if you answered number one, Ms. Amy Rogers, you are absolutely correct. Woo. All right. Now, before we move on to the next slide, we went ahead and put some fun cartoon characters. I believe that might be our next one. I can't see ahead, but just be prepared. We're going to go into, I guess, a little bit goofier side of these slides, okay? So moving on. All right, so on this one, we're focusing on these two cartoon characters down here in their younger years. Looks like we have a gentleman with rather shaggy hair and a dog that seems to have the logo SD on there. Now, when these two grew up, did they grow up to be number one, Shaggy and Scooby, or number two, Mr. Sam and his dog Xander? Who did these two individuals grow up to be? Number one, Shaggy and Scooby,
Picture Scooby
or number two,
and number one is Scooby and Shaggy. I got
and
it.
his dog Xander?
Number one. Roll. Raggy. Scooby Dooby Doo Doo.
Yeah.
One finger up. Okay. One. Roll. Raggy.
Good. All right, for this one, ladies and gentlemen, these are just a younger version of our well-known Scooby and Shaggy. So if you selected number one, you are absolutely correct. All right, on to our next slide. All right, looks like we have a rather sponge-shaped individual that is a baby. Now, when this little sponge-shaped baby, when it grew up, did it grow up to be our very own Mr. Clark Haas, number one, or number two, SpongeBob SquarePants? So, is it either number one, Mr. Clark, or number two, SpongeBob SquarePants?
Mr. Clark or SpongeBob? SpongeBob would be close your fingers and hold up two. Close this, one and two.
1, 2.
Two, 1, 2. Good girl.
Okay.
We're all set? Excellent. If you chose number two, SpongeBob SquarePants, you are absolutely correct. All right, moving on to our next one. Ooh, Looks like we have a baby something with round ears here. Not quite sure. So what did this baby grow up to be? Did this baby grow up to be number 1, Mr. Mickey Mouse? Or number 2, Miss Ashley with
That's it. Number 1,
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse, or number 2, Miss Ashley?
I say.
Oh my God, Miss Ashley.
rim? Kinda knew that was gonna- So did this little baby down here grow up to be Mickey Mouse or Miss Ashley?
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
All right, we're all set. Number 1 is our correct answer, Mickey Mouse. This is
It
baby
was
Mickey
Mickey
Mouse and grew up to be Mickey Mouse. I can see the resemblance.
Bounce.
It's
a little
all right,
bit.
Desmond.
But
Okay.
what is our answer?
Uh.
All right, and I believe we have one last slide left. Our last slide. Now we have this adorable young animal down here. Now when this young adorable cat-like creature grows up, is it growing up to be number 1, our Tony the Torrent Tiger? Or number 2, Miss
Russia.
from our front office? I suggest pay attention to the stripes. What did this
See, 2 on 1.
young animal grow up to be? Tony the Torrent Tiger or Miss Christian, one of our lovely secretaries?
Is that a 2, Eric?
We're good? We're good. All right. If you answered number 1, Tony the Torrent Tiger, you are absolutely correct. All right. And now what that is going to do, that will wrap it up for our slide presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the stop sharing so that I can see everybody again. All right. My computer is really slow.
Right?
It's in the process of stopping the share. All right, now, without further ado, I've got Mr. Miles working very hard on all of his scoring, and he's going to go ahead and tell us our results. Let's try to take our top scores. I keep talking. How's everybody doing out there? I can see Destiny, you're having a blast. I see Julia over there. Hey, Mr. O'Meara. Who else is down here? Miss
Hi,
Connie.
Molly.
Hi.
Anticipation is just overwhelming right now.
Sorry, I didn't realize she was, you couldn't see her here.
That's okay. She's good.
I got too many things I'm trying to do all at the same time. Is this the end of the session? Should I log her out?
We'll be done in just a second. We're figuring out which classroom or which student won.
Mhm.
Oh.
We're playing Beat
okay.
Mr. Eric.
So,
I
was
think
she
we all know the
unmuted
answer
and-
already.
Was she unmuted and on video the whole time?
I couldn't see her on my screen, so probably.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
You did great. Nothing to be sorry about.
Okay, well, we'll get the hang of this.
Our results are in. Results are in. So, with this, the overall winner for our game, coming in at a whopping score of 20, would be Ms. Connie Tish's class. Whoa! But there is more. Miles also went and looked at all of our lovely students that are on right now and compiled their scores. And so I guess our overall champion is Connie, but we have a tie for our overall student champion. That would be Julia and AJ with 19. That means you only missed one.
Woo, woo!
Congratulations, Julia and AJ. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Round of applause to make yourself feel happy.
Woo!
And of course,
Woo!
Yeah, and Ethan,
Woo!
I demand a retally on the funny thing.
that's negative.
Two, us two.
All right, so hopefully everybody enjoyed the activity. And of course, give off your feedback and guidance on what you liked and what you didn't like. Okay, so have a lovely afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.
Say bye.
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 Bye, Mom.
Bye.